Oh yeah. Virgin Islands nice. So nice. Sure. I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Croix, nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Hey, when it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of we continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. I remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn, and Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Yeah. St. Croix produced the band Midnight, and them the kind of roots make the fire ignite, yo. Julian Jackson was a champion in the ring, and now him 3 sons, them a do the same thing, yeah. Tim Duncan come from the VI, one of the greatest, and the world can see why, yeah. If you ever ask me where I'm from, born in a Virgin Island, and the whole place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. The Virgin Islands nice, so nice, so nice. Rock City sweet and nice, so nice, so nice. Twin City full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. Love City a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side.
Talking about a land of beauty, we call it paradise. He wants to come down and check we down in the Virgin Isles. We are a share of problems, we know you have yours too. We're doing our best to solve them. We want to welcome you. Come feel our gentle breezes, marvel at a sandy shore. Our crystal sparkling waters, bet you can ask for more. St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, next door to the PDI. Filled up with fascination, your interest will satisfy. Some people they try to top us, but man they just cannot. I suggest you come and join us, because the VI hot. Hey. Put up your hand them high. Know that you from the VI. Wave your flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party. Show them we rule this fed. Show them we have energy. Tired man will never get. we leave these islands, all over the world we roam. When it comes to carnival time, we ready to come back home. To eat boiled fish and fungi, cherry and almonds too. To drink passion fruit and morbi, sea moss to name a few. We have to catch up the Juve, jump up behind Javan. We have to be in the parade, jumping with just action. We have to swim Maidens Way, Cookie Point and Vessup too. We have to visit St. John, somewhere we have to do. St. Paul is our biggest beauty, historic sites galore. I suggest you come and join us, come down and take a tour. Shout it out, VI, put up your hand them high. Know that you from the VI, wave the flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party, show them we rule this fete. Show them we have energy, tired man we'll never get. Packed up with friendly people, most will greet you with a smile. Wrapped up in our pride and culture, that is the Virgin Isles. We'll teach you some old traditions, that's a quail we step up to. We'll show you an old plantation, more history old and new. Come down and spend your money, shopping is duty free. Purchase our rum and clothing, artwork and jewelry. Our day sail is really lovely, so many things to see. Stop alive and swim our waters, fulfill your fantasy. Our islands are really special, they are our pride and joy. There's not a place more lovely, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix. Put up your hand them high. Know that you from the VI, wave the flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party, show them we rule this fete. Show them we have energy, tired we will never get. come down and check we down in the Virgin Isles. We are the share of problems. We know you have yours too. We're doing our best to solve them. We want to welcome you. Come feel our gentle breezes, marvel at our sandy shore. Our crystal sparkling waters, bet you can ask for more. St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, next door to the PDI. Filled up with fascination, your interest will satisfy. Some people they try to top us, but man they just cannot. I suggest you come and join us, because the VI hot. Hey. Put up your hand them high. Know that you from the VI. Wave your flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party. Show them we rule this fed. Show them we have energy. Tired man will never get VI. We from the VI. Oh. No matter where we go.
Good morning, good morning. This is Adela Fonsi down in Storg at the 10 o'clock hour. It's a beautiful day here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I try to depict the Virgin Islands in the most positive way that I possibly can, and I hope and I try to encourage others to do the same likewise. Because, you know, when we're promoting on social media and through different mediums, it's always important that we be careful what we say about the Virgin Islands and cautious of stigmatizing the Virgin Islands in any way. So I try to remain as positive as I possibly can. This morning, I just on some quick updates. I have a special guest here this morning, and many of you know who it is, because I indicated that my guest this morning is going to be Senator Javan E. James Sr. from the island of St. Croix. I know you said senior, but he's actually, I think he's the youngest senator in the institution at this time. Bring back some memories for me. And, you know, we'll have him here on the air to talk about his agenda, to ask him specific questions, even about the Senate, the role of a senator. But before we get to that, let me navigate back to, I want to recognize this young lady again that is making tremendous strides. And I'm talking about that phenomena from South Carolina. South Carolina, right? Carolina University. She's making tremendous strides. She just racked up another award. I mean, she's been an Athlete of the Week, Athlete of the Year, so many times that I'm losing count. But you know what? At the end of the day, she serves as the consummate ambassador for the U.S. Virgin Islands. And that in itself speak volumes, and it's invaluable when you think about it, because she's been in every national spotlight and able to share just where she's from. And every single time that there's a report about her, they speak about the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now navigating on to something else, because I've extended an invitation to her to appear on the program where I can actually interview her and ask her questions about her experience and how she feels after being so impactful when it comes to the collegiate women's basketball. I want to navigate a little bit, just some quick mention, the retirement system. And, you know, I read actually an article where there seemed to be an impasse between the GRS board and the governor and his administration. And some of the things that I have read, it's rather unfortunate, because you can't give the appearance that you're bankrupt in ideas. They're looking for ideas every day. We have to formulate ideas. That's what you're elected to public office for, to come up with your innovative and creative ways to improve conditions and make things better. So we'll get back to that at another time. And while I'm talking about that, this weekend, I had the wonderful experience, a wonderful experience of going out in the sea, and Rab seemed to be kind of jealous as the engineer in there, eating his food and trying to look at me through the glass with a keen eye. Anyway, I had a wonderful time. I was able, folks. You need to enjoy our ambience. You need to enjoy our pristine, our beauty. You need to enjoy the Virgin Islands as much as you can. I went out on a boat. I went to Maho Bay. I went all over the place. And then on the way back, what did I decide to do? I decided to ask the boat captain, and I want to thank him as well, the boat captain, to go over to Epstein Island, because I wanted to see when I was coming up, and I saw all these boats, people around Epstein Island taking pictures, jumping in the water, swimming, and taking pictures while they're swimming, just to go back to the United States to say that they swam by Epstein Island. I'm not going to call it pedophile island. I'm not going to call it anything. What I will say, Virgin Islanders, is we need to start thinking outside the box. Do you realize that the Virgin Islands have historic sites? Inclusive in those historic sites, I'm not just talking about Fort Christian and the different Christian fort and all that stuff. I'm talking about the mills and things that people want to see in terms of our rich history. Now, we know that that history was a bad history, which was what? Slaves used to work at these mills, these sugar mills. And what did we do? We took the sugar mills and we turned it into part of our marketing package to market and package the U.S. Virgin Islands. So what I'm saying in this instance is that the governor and the attorney general need to pursue taking ownership of that island. And I'm not just talking about Little St. James, Great St. James. And, you know, for whatever it's worth, I think that it could be a revenue stream. Turn it into some kind of historic site, because it's now part of our history. Unfortunately, it's a stigma. But guess what? We need to turn negatives into positives, where we can realize and generate revenues. Because if the government owns it and charge people a fee to go on that island, because they're already trying to sneak on the island to take pictures, and they're doing all kind of things around that island, and it's drawing thousands of tourists from different destinations who are coming to the Virgin Islands, and the first thing they ask for, these tour services, can you take me over to Epstein Island, because I would like to see it. I would like to see what it consists of, you know, and that type of stuff. But ultimately, I think it's important that the government take a lead on this, take that island over, turn it into a some kind of attraction, and guess what? In the generation of the revenues, and I'm giving you these ideas from the governor to the administrator, giving you the idea. Take 50% of those revenues or even more and dedicate it to the GRS system. There you go. Another potential revenue stream. You didn't have to pay for it. Free consulting. But I'm saying this to say that we have to be creative and innovative in what we do. And guess what? I'm still on the topic of that 8%, cut that now is supposed to translate, and is supposed to be getting the revenues from the excise tax collections that is supposed to be reinstated. Yeah, we could talk about that another time. But these are the compelling issues that we need to discuss. And I'm going to go back to that history, because when I start to connect the dots, I'm going to connect the dots. So I'm going to go back into that history at a later date, not today, where Jeffrey Epstein started, how he was able to earn his wealth, and how he was able to generate his wealth in the U.S. Virgin Islands, what the U.S. Virgin Islands helped him to save himself in terms of revenues, and what he may have given back. But we'll save that for another time, because I think it's important for Virgin Islanders to know every single part of our history. But I hope that idea doesn't land on deaf ears. I know they're listening to my program. I know they're listening to Connect the Dots. And I'm glad you're listening, because that way, even if you don't want to engage me personally to ask me for my advice on several things that are taking place in the Virgin, I'm giving it to you free. You don't have to hire me here, hire me there with any consulting contracts. I will provide the service because at the end of the day, it's got to be service above self. So this morning, I'm going to segue into a guest that we have here in the studio, none other than a person, a senator that I respect. I admire him for just his positions, the things that he stands for, the different programs that he advocates, and I can go on and on and on. But you stand on the side, and sometimes you just look at things that people do. And I always say, I've always believed in giving people their flowers when they're alive, and that type of stuff. And I have to commend this particular senator for some of the stuff that he have advocated, some of the stuff he have proposed. And at the right time, I'm going to let him just highlight some of the things as I ask him questions. And the premise of our discussion this morning starts with what's the responsibilities of the legislature. Because I think sometimes the public feels that senators should be a super commissioner at the same time. And another question, do they legislate and have oversight of the executive branch of government or executive branch functions? What should be their primary roles? Does the public truly understand its functions? What should be their primary goals? Do they allocate through budgetary functions? Senator Javan James' agenda. And that's what we would like to discuss this morning and give him an opportunity to talk about just the number of things that he still have pending. And I want to bring him in real quick. Senator James, are you there? Can you hear me?
Good morning to the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands, and thank you for having me here, Mr. Donnerstag. I really do appreciate it.
Well, I truly appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule, because I know you guys have some Herculean tasks ahead of you with so many different things, and WAPA being one of the major things. The last thing we need is for WAPA to collapse, and I know the senators are working vigilantly trying to come up with different ways to see what kind of support and resources that they can put in place for WAPA. But that we'll save that if you want to comment on it later on. But what I would like to talk about is, let me start out with this first question and ask you this first question, which is, are you the youngest senator in that institution?
Yes, I was the youngest in the 33rd Legislature of the Virgin Islands, and I'm currently the youngest in the 34th. So two times in a row, I was able to remain the youngest sitting senator in the U.S. Virgin Islands. What
has your challenges been as one of the youngest senators?
Well, in the most humble manner possible, my biggest challenge is in the legislature is basically us sticking to a specific agenda. I am consensus driven. If you watch my body of work, every single piece of legislation I brought to the floor got passed. Every single one. So it shows you that I'm able to work with individuals, whether Democrats, independent, ICM, that doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, my biggest challenge is us as an institution having an actual agenda that we stick to and make things happen for the people of the Virgin Islands. And when I say agenda, not personal agendas.
Okay. Now, what do you feel, in terms of your practices, your routine in the Senate, what do you feel can you share with the public what the role of a senator really is? Because you see, people think that senators are to go out and make sure potholes are fixed. I could understand them allocating or identifying funds to be able to provide those essential services to the community. But I want to hear in your words, what would your challenges in terms of the services that are being provided to the community, and how would you define those services that are supposed to be provided to the community?
Well, I would say this much. To answer the first question regarding the role of the Senate, we have three main roles. And one of the most important roles that we have is putting the budget together. That plays a big role in how government functions and how it has a domino effect. and the economy and the community on a whole. So we appropriate funds, and then secondly, we pass bills, whether it's appropriation bills or legislation that speaks to what's in the Virgin Islands Code and what would better the quality of lives for Virgin Islanders. And last but not least, what we do is provide oversight. And that is where I think people tend to believe that we are super commissioners.
Yeah.
The fact that we can call in a Senate hearing and bring in the commissioners and directors and question them, people might feel that we are their bosses, but we are not. We are just there to provide the checks and balances to make sure that the executive branch is following the mandates of the legislative branch. So those are our three main roles. But at the end of the day, as far as my challenges, when I'm not on the Senate floor or writing bills, I find myself doing the job of a commissioner, or sometimes the job of an administrator, because we have three administrators. We have the one at St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John. So I find myself doing a lot of that. And do I complain about it? No. However, you have individuals out there who are responsible for those jobs that I made mention of, those roles, and I really wish people knew the importance of understanding these roles so we can know who to hold accountable, because I find myself doing a lot of that. The senators cannot do every single thing. We have individuals in government who are responsible for specific things. So those are my challenges as far as people thinking that senators can do every single thing.
Do you feel that being the youngest may provide some obstacles for you in terms of your interaction with the rest of the senators? Do you feel that has been a hindrance in any way?
No. However, I respect my elders, but at the end of the day, some of them can be my mother or father, but they need to know at the end of the day, the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands, regardless of age, put me there. So you're going to treat me like an adult. So at the end of the day, I don't really have any challenges with them, because I am a person that I don't get into melee and gossip. I show up to work, do what I have to do, and I leave.
Well, and of course that I was a senator as well. When I went into the body, I was actually the second youngest senator. I think Senator Ali Petrus had me by a few months. So he was a few months younger than I was. But certainly I think that we, because of the number of years and the number of years that he may have served in the Senate as well, it at least gave us a running start. And I know that you too had that introduction in terms of working for another senator that perhaps was a requisite or the proper preparation for you to transition into being a senator.
Well, I will tell you this much. They said never burn bridges, and one person I would never burn bridges with is Senator Novelli Francis Jr. If it wasn't for Senator Francis, and I know I did my part as far as learning and preparing myself, but if it wasn't for me working in Senator Francis' office, I would have never been where I'm at. So until the day I die, I will always have respect for Senator Novelli Francis Jr. I worked with him for 2 terms in the 31st and 32nd legislature, and then I came in the 33rd and the 34th. So I've been next to his side ever since 2014, and here am I. So thank you, Senator Francis.
Okay, well, I'm sure he would appreciate that, because that sounds like he's been a mentor to you. And as a younger person, and I could tell you, I could relate to what you're saying, because I worked going way back in a summer program for Elmo D. Roebuck, then for James O'Brien, and then for Bingley Richardson before I actually ran for public office. And I want to take the time out to thank them. Two are no longer with us, but I want to thank them for allowing me to spread my wings, allowing me to be exposed to a lot of things, and perhaps allowing me to grow, because I think that by them allowing me to expand my wings, it allowed me to grow. So I understand, and I could relate to what you're saying. Senator, I know there's been some challenges in the Senate, but before we even venture to that, I want to get into your agenda. As a young person, I suspect that you interact and you can relate to a lot of the young people. What specific initiatives right now you're working on for the young?
Workforce development. And when I say workforce development, is not to say I'm just speaking about it. I'm actually putting legislation in place that would help and contribute towards that. And one of the legislation that I want to speak of is Act 8434, which was passed in the 33rd Legislature of the Virgin Islands. The governor vetoed it, and I was able to override his veto, and is an act appropriating all the revenues derived from fees for initial renewal of firearms and ammunition license upon enactment of this act, which is October 1st, 2030, to the St. Croix Career and Technical Education Center and the Raphael E. Whitley Skills Center.
Okay.
And all fees collected from the regulation of firearms will now be deposited into the Virgin Islands Education Initiative Fund and will be used exclusively for purchasing books, equipment, and classroom materials for students and faculty who are contributing to Career and Technical Education Center. That's a big win for the territory. So for every legal firearm in the territory, it goes towards helping a young man or woman learn a trade in the Virgin Islands. And as you can see with the hurricane disaster recovery, there is a shortage of manpower, and we have to import a lot of people into the territory to do the work that I really wish our locals were contributing mainly to that, so the money can stay here. So it's a lesson learned for the administration, and hopefully that the administration will jump on board and understand the importance of workforce development. So Commissioner Gary Malloy, you have some work to do as far as workforce development for our youth, so the money can stay here.
Okay. And you know, that's creative. That's creative thinking. To actually, guns are killing young people. And certainly, if you were able to come up with an innovative or creative ideas, such as redirecting some revenues from an area that is somewhat related in terms of the pitfalls, that is good. So I commend you on that. Is there any other initiative you wanted to share with us?
Oh, sure. Definitely what I'm trying to do right now is get more young people involved in agriculture. I've been meeting with Positive T.A. Nelson, which is the commissioner, regarding Act 7532, which speaks to agriculture in the classroom. Now, that is not my act, but it's something that is already mandated in the Virgin Islands Code, in which Senator Nelson himself sponsored, and I'm trying to make sure that we get that enforced or implemented, because agriculture is a $1 trillion industry around the world. However, in the Virgin Islands, we spend over $500 million in importing food. So what I'm trying to do now with my act that I've sponsored, and that is now law, is Act 8306. And Act 8306 is an act amending Title 7, Chapter 1, Subchapter 4, Section 16 of the Virgin Islands Code, by mandating the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Tourism to host an agricultural conference known as the VI Agriculture Caribbean Conference, alternately and annually in the District of St. Croix and the District of St. Thomas and St. John. It actually has a funding source, so it's not an unfunded mandate. I met with Positive T.A. Nelson recently to make sure that we get this up and running, because if we have this conference, and I want people to understand the vision, if we have this conference, pitch up leaders from all over the Eastern Caribbean, Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands, the United States, and other countries, coming here to the nice Virgin Islands with nice weather, coming to a conference that speaks to the future of agriculture, forming relationships, talking about imports and exports, and then when the conference is finished, you get to enjoy the island, you get to rent a vehicle, go into hotels, visit the different farms, get to patronize the different businesses, and it speaks to agritourism. So as simple as it might seem, it is a big deal. And the goal is, of course, to get the Department of Agriculture to put a state agricultural plan, in which I sponsor that legislation with Senator Donna Fred Gregory, to make sure that we get more of our young men and women involved in agriculture, so we can keep some of that revenues that tend to lead the territory right here. And once again, over $500 million in food we spend importing food. And if you can just take 10 to 20% of that and keep that money here, that's extra revenues into the government coffers, and our young men will be able to live an honest living while contributing to something that is no stranger to the Virgin Islands, which is agriculture, specifically St. Croix. And I could go on and on, but those are the two main things that I'm working on: CTEC, agriculture.
Okay, now that you mention a conference, most places throughout the United States recognize that sports and entertainment tourism is a major contributor to any economy. That's why a lot of states are now competing against each other. Would you be in favor or advocate building convention centers on both islands? Because we can talk about conferences, and a few years ago, I had attempted to encourage the National Wildlife Federation Executive Committee to hold their conference in the Virgin Islands, and the problem that we had is that we didn't have sufficient rooms, and we definitely didn't have the venue to be able to host the number of people that would be coming, because that's the executive committee now. The membership of the National Wildlife is over 1 million people. And even if you get 20% of that, where are they going to go? You see, so would you advocate that?
Well, most definitely. I don't want to say too much, but
Okay.
just last week I met with someone who brought a proposal of a nice convention center. Hopefully we will see that up and running. I don't want to speak too much about it, but yes, to answer your question, yes, I'm all for entertainment, sports, tourism, and industries. Once we have those things, we don't really have to depend heavily on cruise ships.
Yeah, I continue to say on the tourism front also that we need to start considering building features in the U.S. Virgin Islands, things for people to do. I'm looking forward to, and you hear me promote Cookie Point all the time, Cookie Point in particular. I'm trying to encourage them to build out a water slide into the water. That's an attraction. You got the swim with the dolphins, but in terms of the other side, another activity for folks to be able to do. A water slide right down into the water. There's nothing that is harmless, and it's certainly a revenue producing thing for whoever decides to do it. I wish I could have done it. But Senator, we're going to break for a commercial, and then we're going to open up the lines for folks to be able to call in and ask questions, because I believe they're going to have some questions for you, and give you an opportunity to respond to folks, but folks to be able to engage you. So we're going to go to just a quick commercial to allow for my sponsors to get some exposure.
It's Catch of the Day. From the water to the pot to your mouth, everything is fresh at Catch of the Day, located on Cookie Point Beach. Enjoy some of your favorite seafood dishes. Fresh catch, lobster, tongue, and whelks when in season, as well as surf and turf. They cater to your wishes. While you sit and wait for your food, enjoy the friendly bar and bask in the ambience that is second to none. Enjoy the white sand, sun, and crystal blue water. We are sure the experience will be unique. Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come and enjoy Catch of the Day on Cookie Point Beach. It's First Stop 24-hour gas and grocery store. Your #1 convenience store, located across from Vitraco Park. You name it, and they have it. From electronic accessories to your favorite drinks. And from gas to groceries. You name it, and they have it. First Stop 24-hour gas and grocery, located across from Vitraco Park. Check it out. Your favorite store for gas and grocery.
Yeah, and Ed, you can't go without thanking the sponsors, because the sponsors help me to stay on the air, to stay on the radio. This morning we have Senator Javan E. James, Sr. with us this morning, sharing his thoughts. And folks, the lines are open now for you to call if you have any questions for Senator James. The number to call here, WSTA, 340-774 1340 1340. So we'll go to the lines. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, good morning. Who is this young man that you're speaking to? What's his name?
Senator Javan E. James, Sr. from the island of St. Croix.
Okay, Lord Jesus, have mercy.
Hello? Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots. Okay, I think that call dropped. I'm not sure. Okay, we're on the air. You're welcome to call. The number to call here is 340-774-1340 here at WSTA with Senator Javan E. James Sr. Senator, well before... Okay, call coming in. Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots.
Good morning to Senator James and Mr. Dalusa.
Yes, good morning.
I would like to ask a funny question, but I don't know how Mr. James, Senator James, will answer it. How do you feel of not having another political party in the VI? We have only one. So you could get some thoughts on that, please. Thank you.
Well,
hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, he's listening to you.
I would
Senator?
definitely like to answer that question. I think
listen out
competition
there.
is necessary. And I think that's the reason why we have been a little stagnant in the territory. If you watch politics on the U.S. mainland, you have the Democratic Party and the Republican Party who always fight for either to get into the White House or to control the Senate. Whereas we only have one party that dominates ever since its inception. So, long story short, I think if they have competition breeds excellence, and individuals will be able to wake up and not feel too comfortable around here. But I have nothing against any specific party, but I believe in strong opposition.
Okay. We have another call coming in. Good morning. You're on the air. Can you turn your radio down? Morning. Connect the dots.
I will. Oh, please. A blessed good morning to both of you. What I want to say, I'm not asking a question, but I want to say to Senator, you seem to be a young visionary with wisdom and understanding. And I pray that the good Lord will bless you, will keep you, and will watch over you and the entire legislature in Jesus' precious name. Have a beautiful day.
Well, thank you for calling, and I really do appreciate it. And it's always a feeling to know that individuals are out there praying for me. So thank you.
Good morning. You on the air. Connect the dots.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning. Buenos dias. How we doing?
I'm blessed, and I think the senator is blessed as well.
¿Me escuchas? Voy a hablar español. Soy bilingüe.
Sí, yo te escucho y yo comprendo todo lo que tú estás diciendo.
Oh, good. Well, as we know, this is Holy Week. Good morning, my Senator.
Good morning,
Javan James. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Hello?
I'm fine, and yourself?
What's going on?
He's listening to you. Can you hear him?
Oh, no, I can't hear him. But anyway, como you know, we are Semana Santa. This is a time that we are, at least old-fashioned, we used to hold it very holy. And may God bless us, and may God keeps the light of justice and love upon Javan James, especially in making sure that we start paying attention to our people, the youth, and the seniors and the older folks, because those are the ones that we need. A society that doesn't take care of their youth and their senior seems to be doomed, and we're not doomed people. We are royalty. So, Mr. Javan, you know I'm always with the history buff with you. I got some more information. Thank you very much. Gracias, and may we have a peaceful weekend, and he will rise. We will rise again. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
One love. Thank you for calling, Ms. Pachado.
Okay, we just lost another call. My mistake. Whoever the caller was can call back. The number to call here is 774-1340, 1340, WST. Yeah, Senator, a quick question I wanted to ask you. I know you guys had a major challenge where you had before the Senate, the Water and Power Authority. We have another call coming in, so I'll suspend that until we come back. Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots.
I got a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
I need to ask Senator James, what are we doing here in the Virgin Islands about this firearm problems we got with the commissioner and stuff like that, with the police commissioner?
Well, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear him? Okay, just go ahead. Did you hear the question, Senator James?
Yes, I heard the question.
Okay, you can go ahead and respond.
Well, to the call, I just want to let you know that I have a bill to address that situation, and that is a bill that I'm currently working on. I already reached out to Commissioner Villanor numerous times because I do support the Second Amendment. However, individuals have to go about doing it the right way. When you give somebody that right to bear arms, that individual must be of good character, good mental capacity, law-abiding citizen, and not out there just living like it's Wild Wild West. So long story short, I have legislation that would change the gun laws in the territory specifically for licensed firearms. I am currently working on it with my office. I plan to bring it to the floor sometime in July, but until then, as you know, based on the Virgin Islands Code, the commissioner has the last and final say when it comes to who can bear arms in the territory. And at the end of the day, I find it to be quite disturbing to put so much power into the hands of the commissioner. It should be based off of the law. Once you meet the requirements, you went through the competency training, and you meet all the requirements, no commissioner should be having discretion to say who can from who cannot, because it's easier to get an illegal firearm than to get a legal firearm, and it shouldn't be that way. As you know, legal firearms are traceable. Illegal firearms are not traceable. So I rather individuals who are of good character and are law-abiding citizens to be possessing firearms. So long story short, I have the bill to address that, and so by July I should bring it to the floor.
Okay, Carl, you're still on the air?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Did you have another question?
Yeah, because, I just want to let him know, because this is the only part of the world that goes to a police commissioner for a license.
Yeah.
The only thing the commissioner should be doing is putting his signature once the person meets the requirement. All that discretion and who thinks should get this and who thinks should that, that's against the Second Amendment.
Okay, did that satisfy you, your question?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Again, the number to call here, WST, is 340-774-1340. We're here with our guest, Senator Javan James from the Big Island, St. Croix. Yeah, Senator, I was asking about WAPA because I know that must have been a challenge. When they came before the institution, it seemed as though there were inquiries that really dove into the operations of WAPA. But the question I've been asking is, okay, after those hearings, and that could potentially spark some audits and investigations, what happens now? Because if you look at the number of the leadership, you have what? About 3 persons that left leadership positions, which is the key positions: CFO, COO, CEO. They all left. I think one person was assumed 2 roles. I'm not sure.
And the individual who was over the legal counsel, I forget the lady's name, the lady for legal counsel, she left and went to another department in government from what I was told.
Oh.
I can't remember the lady's name, but she represented them as a legal counsel.
I'm asking this question because as a person who is disciplined, I have a certification in city management. And one of the things that we have learned is in any organization, the one thing you don't want to do is to cut out all the leadership. Because if all the leadership leave the organization is pretty much headless. Now I know they placed an interim or appointed an interim CEO of the utility. But I'm still just wondering if there's any existing plans to either aid, assist with reorganization, or basically what is the strategy at this point?
Well, I will tell you this much. I'm a part of the subcommittee on energy and infrastructure development. On Wednesday, March 22nd, 2021, I met with Senator Soro, Senator Alma Francis Heiger, and representatives from other senators' office. And we discussed a series of bills that should be coming to the floor to change the composition of the public service commissions and to also change the composition when it comes to the WAPA Governing Authority Board. And as we know, we continue to do our part as the first branch of government when it comes to legislation. But keep in mind, in the 33rd Legislature of the Virgin Islands, we brought several measures to the floor, and majority of them got vetoed. And when they got vetoed, is the governor of the Virgin Islands vetoed it.
Yeah.
So it's not to say the Senate is not doing their part. We're inquiring, we're doing the oversight, we're passing legislation. We're even telling them, what do you want us to do? And all they're basically telling us at the Water and Power Authority is, we got it under control. But obviously, it is not under control. So what the next step forward should be coming from the Attorney General's office. She has been quite silent when it comes to that issue. I know there was some back and forth with the VI consortium regarding the Attorney General when it comes to the internal audit. And as you know, the WAPA Governing Authority Board has a lot of say, but the WAPA Governing Authority Board is influenced by the governor. So between the governor, the WAPA Governing Authority Board, and the Attorney General's office, they need to really sit down and find out what is going on internally. Of course, we already know what's going on internally. There are accusations and allegations when it comes to waste and fraud. And once and for all, put a stop to it and put people in there who can really run the authority, so our people of the U.S. Virgin Islands could get the basic services that they need and deserve.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear that at least the institution have created a subcommittee for the purpose of reviewing and having and offering some suggestions for corrective measures. So I'm looking forward to that, and I could only encourage the senators, because people out here are crying. I mean, you talk about businesses that just went through COVID and then being confronted with bills that have just about more than doubled, to even the regular senior citizen or elderly person on a fixed income that experience a 20% or spike increase in their utility bill and can't really meet or fulfill that obligation and trying their best. So I hope that among the corrective measures, I have advocated from years ago, I mentioned about trying to create a co-op, because you see, on a co-op, the employees being part owners would in fact, of course, look out for the best interest of the utility, and still being a consumer as well, would want to see reduced rates for Virgin Islanders. So you see, this thing with Vital and this agreement that is in excess of, I think, 14.98% interest rate, it's like a noose around the neck. And I'm sure that they all realize that it's like a noose around the neck. And you keep hearing, I know the leadership that is now gone had already engaged in talks with a financier or someone who was willing to help them to refinance to reduce that interest rate. But if you take us back with the initial position of even the governor advocating an adjustments in rate, which was an increase in rates, reducing the LIAC and increasing the base rate, which for the average person, they may not truly understand what it consists of, but it was really an increase in rates. The public doesn't want to hear this. Consumers, ratepayers, this is the last thing they need to hear. So we need to start really looking, and I will follow you guys and just look forward to any suggestions that I can offer through my radio program to you guys and any other advocacy or group that wants to really participate. I believe that everyone should be a part of this decision-making process, because this is our lifeline. And the one thing we don't want to see happen is that WAPA collapse, because those are our families.
Well, I want to say one thing. When it comes to the senators, and I really want the public to understand what I'm about to say. Our main role is to legislate, pass legislation, appropriate funds, and to provide oversight. So once we do our part, we are relying on the executive branch, which is the governor, with his commissioners and directors, and his whole entourage to enforce what we put in place. And anytime there's an issue with that, that's where the judicial branch comes in. So between the judicial branch and the executive branch and the legislative branch, we need to work the system in how it is intended to function. Because I want people to understand that we ain't just sitting down and playing around in the Senate. I can't speak for every single one of the senators, but I know majority of my colleagues, they want to see the Virgin Islands do good. But we have a whole governing authority board when it comes to WAPA. We can't be babying these people. They answer to somebody, and then we have the leadership in WAPA. We put people in there hoping and praying that they will do their job. And if they can't do the job, put somebody else. Okay, and we have to get out of that habit of, oh, that's my friend, that's my cousin. No, if you ain't doing the job, put somebody who can do it.
We have another call coming in, Senator?
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots.
Good morning, my brother Fonzie. This is Bernier, and you have a beautiful young man, Mr. James. This is one of your special friends, Bernier. I'm so proud of the two of you guys, because Fonzie, you hitting it on the head. From 2006 to present, the former board members, along with the management group of WAPA, actually went into PPAs, power purchase agreement, with themselves come off the board and came off of WAPA and benefit themselves and the back of our poor people. So, Fonzie, you're right, and the senator is correct. The problem we have, Fonzie, is the Senate at this point, as well as the administration, is not adaptive of what needs to be done. You need a turnaround group within the next year, within 2 years, because those federal funds has to go in the ground now. This existing administration, the governor increased your base rate and put the burden on the people. He's the problem. So there's no way this thing gonna get fixed. He increased your base rate from 15 cents to 23 cents. That's why John Clendenin got off the board and I got off the board. And we need to get this governor to understand his job is to protect the people, not the special interests. So I'm saying to you, I've been with the federal government, we're prepared to come in and clean this mess up. But the administration has to come on board. Our Congress lady Stacey and I, 3 years ago, the federal government has a toolbox which could fix this problem. But this governor is refusing to engage in what's necessary. He needs to step aside and let the federal government come in, and we should be paying 25 cents per kilowatt. You know why? Becky's Hope in St. Croix, 600 acres. Fonzie, in 2012, we offered the government 13 cents per kilowatt. That's 60 megs with backup. So your rate, when I decide to assist the government, volunteering my time at PSC, was to correct the problem. But the prior two administration, the board members, even 7Cs, the water side, all these things, the employees and the leadership of WAPA actually took the government assets for themselves, and now all of them are working for the same vendor that actually came in, Hagler and all these guys who came in with money. And when I'm hearing that we owe $100 million to Hagler now and WAPA, that's unjust. I mean, the federal government has to look into these things. This is totally chaos. And that's when Neil Vanderpool come in and the rest of them. So until we grow up, like you say, and like the good senator say, we don't have to worry about brother, sister. Let's correct the problem. And the reason why I'm saying this, Fonzie, and the good senator, we are killing 500 young men every year. Within the last 30 years, we've killed close to 1,500 of our young people, and we are doing it to ourselves. That's why I don't want to hear nothing but Black Lives Matter. We have black senators, black governor, black everything. And we're no different than Nigeria and Somalia killing our own people for $1. What is a man to gain the world and lose his soul? That's the problem with this administration and the prior administration and the prior administration. So, Fonzie, I'm so proud of you constantly reaching out. But our people here have to stand up. Not just you alone, not just me alone. We've been through 2 Cat 5 hurricane and a pandemic. We have not even addressed the 1,500 homes that were destroyed 3.5 years ago. And this government starts talking about crucial. Crucial to go where? Our people are suffering. Take care of your people, and therefore we'll grow as a people. When are you going to bring people here, and our people are the ones that are being killed? It's unconscionable. And these are the concerns. So I am so proud, Senator James and yourself, Fonzie. I try not to say too much because, you know, I'm just an advocate to protect the young. And our young people are dying for no reason. Fonzie, you're very articulate. You see the housing, Pearson Garden, as well as Harris Court, we should have legislation. Marshall Fudge now is the new HUD director. We talk about HR 40 acres and a mule. If FEMA or HUD has property, residence for 60 years, them things don't depreciate. Let's put co-ops now with the people that should own those things.
Yep.
Any government property that's 60 years old, Fonzie, $1 sell, and we do a co-op like Phillips did years ago. If we love our people, we got to help our people. We can't be running around here talking about cruise ship. Let's take care of our people, then we'll have a beautiful island, Fonzie. What you think about that?
I totally agree, but listen, I've been trumpeting this for so many years in terms of the co-op. If you recall, and I could tell you, freely say to you, with a sense of pride, I came from Paul and Pearson Gardens, and I'm proud to say that. And when they say take a village to raise a child, I know what it was with all my neighbors, but I also know what it is, or know what it is today, that we need to start to transition and evolve with times. So I'm agreeing with almost everything that you're saying. At the end of the day, leadership, you're elected by the people. You're beholden to the people. And if you don't understand that it has to be service above self, then don't get into it. Because at the end of the day, you're disappointing the people. And guess what? You're putting their lives in peril, because that's what's happening.
Well, I pray for you and Brother James all the time. Our people, I explain to these people at WAPA, you put in another $700 million in the ground. It doesn't change the rate. It's a capital project. It's just an investment.
That's correct.
It doesn't bring... People are being bamboozled. This administration is just advertising all over. This 2040 nonsense he's bringing. He went to Washington the other day talking about, could Washington assist us with a comprehensive plan? You don't go to Washington to help you with no plan. You're supposed to have a plan to present to them. What kind of backward society we have there? Listen, we are culture, we don't beg. I ain't going over to beg these people. This is our home, and if we don't take precedence in this, Fonzie, in the next 10 to 20 years, your children cannot live here. And I'm telling you that professionally. That's why they're killing themselves. They don't have no way. They don't see no way. That's why when I heard the little brother James pushing, and you push tourism, boxing, the sports, and etc. Policy, that's how we grow up here. And until we come back to take care of our people, this is a little island. I mean, we're taking a lot of stress. Our people have PTSD. Your policemen have PTSD. We need people that care about the territory, Fonzie. And that's what you're appealing. That's why you see our senior citizens and the young lady calling in Javan and saying, God bless you, you're visionary. I feel the same way because he's trying to help. But those that are in power now, they think they're entitled to things. These guys are taking the government access funds and giving them away, not even going through a process now. That's how good they have it. But guess what they're using? They're using the pandemic as a state of emergency for self-interest. So, Fonz, love you guys. I just enjoy your show, Fonz. I listen all the time.
Thanks for listening.
Okay.
No, you're welcome to listen. You're welcome to call in anytime. That's not a problem. Okay? You're welcome to call in anytime you want.
I love my country. It's better sometimes for me to stand down and let other people engage, because this country wouldn't be in this state if I had access to it. Neither you or me had access to this country to run it. We wouldn't have no problem based on what I'm hearing. Our people are dying, Fonzie. And Brother James is trying his best in Sincoy, but again, them good for nothing around him. I mean, I don't like to use the word. What is a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Our leaders are into material things. This is about humanity. We just went through 4 Cat 5, Fonzie. 2 Cat 5.
Yeah.
We just went through this pandemic. It needs this time to use it to correct the ills of the past. That's all I'm saying, Fonzie. And listen,
Okay.
guys, have a good day, Fonzie. Thanks for your program.
You as well, and thanks for your contribution.
God bless you.
Okay.
God bless you, brother.
Okay, take
All right.
care. Good morning, you're on the air, connect the dots. Good morning, you're on the air, connect the dots.
Good morning. How is everybody doing?
We're fine. Our guest is
Good.
fine. He could
My
respond.
name is Malcolm De Castro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to speak up for the Vietnam veterans because today, March 29, is considered Vietnam Veterans Day, and the U.S. Virgin Islands have a lot of Vietnam veterans that are still alive, that's not getting any kind of basic needs, financial needs, medical needs, emotional needs in the Virgin Islands. Most, if not all of them, have to fly to Puerto Rico to get these needs satisfied. My question is that how are we going about helping these Vietnam veterans?
Well, I would like to answer that question. It's just such a coincidence. I'm on the island of St. Thomas right now, but on my way.
Yeah, can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear him, but I heard you.
Okay, I wonder what's happening. I could hear him clearly, so I know it's being transmitted.
All right, this is Fonzie?
Yes, this is Fonzie, but the senator is trying to respond to you.
Okay, Fonzie, my name is Malcolm De Castro, and I'm a close friend of somebody that helped you out a long time ago, Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge.
Yes. I still have this, maybe you can relay the question if I can't hear his answer, and I'll go back.
Well,
on the video.
he's hearing you, He can hear you clearly.
Yeah, but I can't hear him.
Okay, well, I'll let him talk, but I'm sure that...
Yes, let me go back. I'll go back on the video. Give me a couple of seconds. I'll go
Sure.
back on the video, and then he can respond, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, first off, thank you, Carla, for calling. And to all the veterans, thank you for your service. And before I answer that question, I want to say rest in peace to Mr. Ian Benjamin. I wish I could have attended the funeral today. That's the young man who got killed recently on the island of St. Croix. He was in the military, and he's being buried today. But what I was going to say is that this morning on the way from St. Croix to St. Thomas, I was passing through Water Gut, and right there across from Valmy Thomas, they have that new building. So they have the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new Office of Veterans Affairs. So I had a talk with Mr. Patrick Farrell. I think that's his name, Mr. Farrell. And that's the individual. I think he's a singer as well. But long story short, he's responsible for that office. I spoke to him on numerous occasions about the situation where our veterans are unable to get certain treatment here on the island of St. Croix or St. Thomas, St. John, and they have to go to Puerto Rico. So to the call, I just want to let you know that I did speak to Mr. Farrell. He is working on it. I'm not sure of the current state or progress of that issue, but just to let you know, he is working on it. I had that conversation with Mr. Farrell.
Okay, the call already hung up. Another call is coming in. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, I wanted to ask a question concerning something the senator was saying. There has to be a flaw in the Second Amendment, right? And tell me if that is not so. When someone could purchase a weapon and there's no psychological test, required for the gun seller, whoever it is, even to the commissioner where they're going to sign out to find out if this person is fit psychologically or otherwise to own a weapon. Because people have done that kind of thing where they can't control their anger, have some kind of emotional thing. You see, that they go and randomly kill somebody, or a group of people, walk into church or supermarket, and this kind of thing. Then you got to ask the question, well, how these people could qualify to purchase a gun and they don't have that something, that state of mind where they're forced in this to not go and kill innocent people. So give me the answer to the question if you could remember.
Yes, I'm not sure if the issue was fixed, but I would definitely like to answer that question. The most important part for me when it comes to the issuance of a firearm is the competency training. I think the competency training should be so rigorous or so in depth that the trainer, the person who is training the individual with a firearm, should be able to detect certain things. Now, is it to say that the trainer will be a psychologist? No. But there are certain things when you train an individual on a gun range, you can pick up on certain habits and tendencies. So I think the competency training is where we need to place more focus on. To say that we're going to do a psychological evaluation on every single person, I'm not sure if that is done in any jurisdiction. But I know for sure the competency training, somewhere along the line within that training, there should be things where the trainer of the firearm who is training the person should be able to pick up on and say, no, I don't think this person should move forward with being issued a firearm, and decline that person. But I would tell you this much. Most of the crimes committed in the territory is not committed with legal firearms. They are committed with illegal firearms. So we don't have a legal firearm problem in the territory. We have an illegal firearm problem in the territory. And with a legal firearm, you have more to lose. You don't just go out there in the bars and being wild and pulling out your firearm. You can lose it easily. So I think you should have more discipline when you have a firearm. It comes with more responsibility. And like I said, majority of the homicides in the territory, they are committed with illegal firearms. But I do understand your concern, though.
Okay, I think the call already hung up. One more call. We could take one more call. We're at the bottom, the end of the hour. Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots. Last call.
Good morning, Connect the dots. The Senator, is there any information relative to what assistance is given to the family of a veteran who has passed? What assistance financially is given to the family to assist with the expenses of the burial?
Mr. Danasa, can you have him repeat that?
Can you repeat that question? I know he was asking something relative to if there's any assistance that the government provides.
Any financial assistance that is given to a family of a deceased veteran relative to the burial expenses.
I am not a subject matter expert in that area. That's a question I would have to ask Mr. Farrell, who is the Director of Office of Veterans Affairs. But Mr. Donnerstag, I know you have been in the Senate before in the past. What they had in place for those individuals?
Yes. Well, I could share that. I know in the past, and they still exist, where they provided financial assistance for those who wanted to further their education. I think that veterans were able to take courses at UVI without having to pay. I don't know about funeral expenses, but if I'm not mistaken, it's not every veteran, I believe, has a life insurance. I'm not sure how much the amount is. In terms of the government, my recollection of any assistance program, financial assistance, that is, I don't recall them provide any financial assistance for veterans when it comes to burial.
My question is if there is any law in the books at all relative to assistance to veterans, and in what category?
Well, that's something that the Senator, I'm sure, could look into and find out. Maybe that might be an initiative that could be offered once you're able to identify the funding source to pay for that expense. Because, that I think veterans should be entitled to them kind of programs. Do you agree, Senator?
I agree. We just have to find the funding source, and it's just a matter of making sure that when we put mandates in the VI code, that we can be able to enforce them and implement them.
Okay. So you still Okay. Thank you for calling. Okay.
I'll look forward to a Senate hearing, or maybe check the papers to see what is done. But Senator, just do us a favor and help us where you can. I know you're only one, but if you propose the information, then maybe we'll be able to get some support. the veterans, the veterans are now seniors, and they need whatever help they can get.
Yeah.
And when they are passed, whatever thing can be given to the family of the deceased will be appreciated.
Well, in closing, I just want to say this much. As you know, we have structural deficits in the government, and a lot of it is contributed due to waste and fraud in the territory. So once we can tighten up on our expenses and the waste in government, especially at the Water and Power Authority and the other departments, we can be able to afford these things. So we have to really crack down on the waste and fraud, and that we could definitely be able to fund these kind of programs. So it's a no-brainer, and in a small territory, we should be able to be doing these things for our veterans. So.
Well, just so the caller know, because and this is why how Facebook becomes so valuable. Someone just sent me a message, specifically Reese Richards, friend, and she said that there's a 5,000 given to them for burial costs. I'm not sure through which agency. We could find that out very easy. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and probably also check with the Veterans Office.
Okay. You have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you, Senator. You take care, have a good one, and continue your program because you're dedicated to the point of helping the people.
Thank you. Well, Senator James, we are at the end of the hour, and I wanted to really commend you. I looked at your newsletter. I'm sorry, we didn't even have a chance to cover 1/4 of it. That's how much stuff is on that newsletter, which I'm sure it's in circulation, and folks are already reviewing it. But based on all those initiatives and stuff that you have there, you've been working. So I wanted to commend you and thank you for what you do in that first branch of government. And you're welcome to come back on this program anytime you want. So you want to provide some closing remarks for the listeners and viewers, because we have to wrap it up. It's 11:06.
Well, definitely I'd like to say thank you, God, for giving me the strength and wisdom and guidance on my journey. Thank you to my family, thank you to my staff, thank you to my colleagues who support me, and those who do not, I still have love for you regardless of what. And to the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands, I just want to let you know my heart, mind, and soul is dedicated to seeing a beautiful Virgin Islands. I'm 33 years old. I have a long life ahead of me once God gives me more life. So I'm not here to enrich myself. I just want to see good and eventually get back into the private sector and run a business and be successful and become a philanthropist. So with that said, I will continue to do the work of the people, and it's never personal for me. I don't get involved in the melee and the gossip. So when you see me, just deal with me with respect, and let's just talk business and move the territory forward. And with that said, I want to say thank you, Mr. Donald Stark, former Senator Donald Stark, for having me and for embracing the youth of the territory. So God bless the Virgin Islands.
Thank you for your participation. Thank you for accepting the invitation. And I just wanted to wish the public a very productive Monday, a blessed week, and God bless each and every one of you. And until next Monday, same time, same place, 10 to 11 a.m. here at WSTL Lucky 13. This has been Adela Fonsi Danistog with Connect the Dots.
So nice. Send cry full of pure fight. We got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey. Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Hey. When it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of we continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. Aye. Remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn. And Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice. So nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice. So nice. So nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes. So nice. So nice. St. John a real paradise. So nice. So nice. Hey, we much to prove, yet so much to lose. Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Yeah. Same crime produce the band midnight. And them the kind of roots make the fire ignite, yo. Julian Jackson was a champion in the ring. I know him three son, them a do the same thing, yeah. Tim Duncan come from the VI, one of the greatest, and the world can see why, yeah. If you ever ask me where I'm from, born in the Virgin Island, and the whole place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas, nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. The Virgin Islands nice, so nice, so nice. Rock City sweet and nice, so nice, so nice. Twin City full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. Love City a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side.
Talking about a land of beauty, we call it paradise. He wants to come down and check we down in the Virgin Isles. We are a share of problems, we know you have yours too. We're doing our best to solve them, we want to welcome you. Come feel our gentle breezes, marvel at a sandy shore. Our crystal sparkling waters, that you can ask for more. St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, next door to the PDI. Filled up with fascination, your interest will satisfy. Some people they try to top us, but man they just cannot. I suggest you come and join us, because the VI hot. VI,